Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Our summer squad in the house. This is fantastic. Hello, hello. We are Facebook Live, YouTube Live, live on Facebook, however you say it. Say hello to Facebook and YouTube. Hello. All around the world, people are checking in right now. All right, who do we have here? There, now I can see. Thank you. There's Miss Georgia. We are in the Casa Karma Red Room. Miss Georgia here, owner, operator, Casa Karma. Yes, thank you. Next Thursday, we have a very special event honoring Georgia and her anniversary. It is a progressive party. Start at Katrina Cantina at 6 p.m. All kinds of performers from all around town. It's 100 pesos, yeah? Only 100 pesos? Even the performers are paying. Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah. Okay. Note to self. And then after, at 7:45, 8 o'clock, then we move over here to Act 2 PV, where we'll have live music here, including an open mic night. Yes, it's going to be, and cake. There's cake. And there's cake. All right. That's next Thursday, the 29th. And our other sponsors, we've got Casanova, Ed and David, and of course Casanova for Casanova Paris. Art and Angela looking fabulous as always. Mr. Jim Davis, Tom Burns, the one and only Sharon Gerber. Miss Marsha's here. We also have some of the students from David Sabella and David Michael's vocal class on Saturdays. Dill and Yitzil, and I think I saw Kimberly. Kimberly's here. Oh, that's so great. Hi, guys. Wonderful. Well, we're at the end of the summer season, and I'm a little sad about it, right? But let me tell you what we've got going on. We've got bingo tomorrow, 4 p.m. Bingo is a lot of fun. It's piano bar bingo with me and David Mayoko, and we have a lot of fun. And are there cookies this week? Banana bread. Ooh. There's banana bread this week. Air fryer banana bread at bingo tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Okay. And then next Wednesday is our last greatest show of the season. Did I tell you who I am? I'm Kate, by the way. For those who don't know. The last greatest show is hosted by the Vaudevillains, which is me and David Mayoko. And it's a very special greatest show for two reasons. Number one, it's David Mayoko's birthday. More cake. Yay. And also, it's going to be in 2 parts. We're going to start the show, Act 1, here in the Red Room, and then move to Mary Ann's Ovation's Piano Bar for Act 2 of The Greatest Show. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then on Friday, our dear Monse, who's stuck in traffic right now, but she will be here, has her first ever show in the Piano Bar at 6 o'clock. Yes, that's going to be fantastic. Followed by the last open mic night of the season, and then the last bingo. And I think that's the end of my notes. I think that's it. Yes, yes. This tip jar is here, guys. If you got a deal, if you got a comp or a deal and you feel like contributing, that's what this is for. 100% goes to the artists, okay? Are you guys ready? Yeah. We'll have a very special evening. So please welcome Classical Connections, my dear friends, David Sabella and David Mayoko.
I want to take a minute to acknowledge a brand new sponsor that we didn't know was here, but Matt Karimi is a brand new sponsor. Memories of a lovely song. You are the promised kiss of spring that makes the lonely winter seem long. Hello everybody, my name is David Sabella, and this is David Meyer. We are very, very happy to be presenting Classical Connections. Both of us have had very extensive classical careers and training, and now at this stage of our life, we don't get to strut that muscle very often. So I'm very happy to be able to share this part of our lives, our experience, and our music with you. Now this song is by Jerome Kern. It was written in 1939. But over 200 years earlier, Julio Caccini used almost the exact same melody and the exact same harmonic structure for his beautiful Ave Maria. So, if some of you are just getting to know me over this summer, that might not have been the sound you expected to come out of me. In my classical music career, I am a countertenor, okay? Sometimes referred to as a male soprano, right? But that's not really what we do. I mean, I'm male, and it sounds like a soprano, but the countertenor voice is a type of tenor. And it is historically connected to the 17th and 18th century, the great repertoire of the castrato. Don't worry. He's okay. But the roles that countertenors sing are traditionally very hyper-masculine roles. Gods, kings, warriors. These roles were not normal men. They were archetypical men. And in the 17th century, the countertenor or the castrati voice was considered the most virile and the most romantic. They were the rock stars of the day. Something interesting to think about is that most of our rock stars today, when they get up to a certain height, they go right into their falsetto. And they're actually functioning today more like countertenors than the charismatic opera tenor of the 19th century, right? Something about that voice, that height, kind of attracts us in a way that's kind of subliminal, right? Now, you may think that it's kind of strange that I paired together Caccini's Ave Maria with Jerome Kern, but you know, in my career and life and my research, I happen to know that Jerome Kern did actually write for a countertenor, a male soprano, who was the great Julian Eltinge. Julian Eltinge, in the early part of the 19th century, 1903, 1914, was a mega star on Broadway, in vaudeville, in silent films. On Broadway, in 1914, he made over $3,000 a week. That would be $79,000 today. Right?
Wow.
He had his own cigar line. He had his own makeup line. He had his own national magazine. He even had a Broadway theater named after him, and it still stands today. It is the home of the AMC Empire Movie Theater on 42nd Street. Yeah. If you go into that theater, you will notice that the original proscenium now just ensconces the box office of the movie theater. But above the proscenium is a fresco of 3 beautiful women. And those 3 women are Julian Eltinge in his 3 most famous roles. Julian always played the male lead of his shows. But then in the plot, there was always a reason why he would have to get into costume to pretend to be, or actually be, the female lead of the show. And he would go back and forth like this all night, changing costumes, changing voices, and that's what made him a megastar. He's also the inspiration for the role of Mary Sunshine in Chicago. All the roles in Chicago are based on vaudevillian stars, and Mary Sunshine, which we will get to later, is based on him. Sometimes I think I'm kind of the reincarnation. Possibly. So this, yeah. So this song was written for Julian by a very, very young Jerome Kern for his musical, The Crinoline Girl. Now listen, it's a secret, don't repeat it, don't you tell us so, not a single soul, among a lot of books. I found a book on looks, one that tells you what to do when eyes so true, gray or blue, smile on you. Now listen to the many, many, many strings each precious little dear at 16 starts out on her wild career of breaking a heart. Come hither, look in her eyes, and when she sighs, I'm also autumn leaves, but still each one believes the look that lies and lies and lies in those come here. Tag, you're it.
Tag, I'm it. Well, hello everybody. How are you? Oh my God, it's so exciting to see so many familiar faces and so many that I don't recognize too, which is really, really, really incredible. I love it. So, yes, this is Classical Connections. Oh, I look from the piano, I look from the piano. How about that? Terrible dancer, so I'm not going to do that for you. That's not what this is about. Yeah, I figured through the dancing. You know, you can't, God divides. It's true. I always wanted to dance on Broadway. It's never happened. But, you know, I actually never wanted to be a classical pianist. My entire life, I never wanted to be. I studied at Boston Conservatory and New England Conservatory and got my degrees in classical music. But, you know, I chose to go to school when, you know, I studied piano. I started playing when I was this big, before I could remember. And then I had lessons, and then I started learning like every small child hates practicing piano and scales. You know, we all want to be Barry Manilow, we all want to be stars, you know, we want to be this stuff. It's just not the natural progression, you know. It's like you have lessons, you have scales, you do all this stuff, you start to learn the classics. And I actually enjoyed the classics, but I found Broadway music and singers and playing for singers, and I loved that more than anything in the world. So yes, when I did my auditions for college, I picked the one conservatory of music that also had a musical theater program attached to it. And that's where I went, because that's what I wanted to do. And what's really funny is that I actually had the opportunities to do that, and to play in Broadway pits, and to sub, and to do all of this stuff in New York. And much thanks to my buddy over here, who from Chicago, the musical. Yep, I dropped it. But, you know, it turned out that I was like, wow, this really isn't what I want to do. And I finally got there, and it was like, this isn't what I want to do. I want to be on the stage. I want to be able to talk to people and look at people and tell them my story. And I was, of course, obsessed with superheroes and kids as a little kid. And, you know, finally figured out a way to put the piano and superheroes together in my alter ego, Mr. Liberace. No, I'm not gay. No. No, it was all good. But I loved, Liberace was a superhero. He was a superhero of the piano, and he wore the most fabulous capes. And I discovered a new world through this character. And it's kind of cool because now I'm back to discovering this world again just through me, out of the drag. No, normally I'm wearing 150 pounds worth of clothes and hair and makeup. It's kind of, I feel kind of light. I do want to dance. But I am going to play for you some classics because much like Liberace, as much as I didn't like Liberace growing up, I was never a huge fan. And when you go to classical school, training, conservatory, Liberace's not cool. That's not cool. That's like, oh yeah, just all frilly and all this stuff. But no one ever acknowledges what a phenomenal pianist he actually was. He really was. He chose the same path I did. He's like, hated classical recitals, they're boring, they're isolating, you're just up there playing and nobody's paying attention, people are figuring out when they can go to the bathroom and all that stuff. And I have made note of where all of you are sitting, so if you get up to the bathroom, yeah, that's okay. We're cool here, You gotta go. But I'm gonna play for you a beautiful little piece by Ignacy Jan Paderewski. And you gotta do that thing there, just push that button there. And this man, what's interesting about Paderewski is he was a Polish classical pianist who was a rock star in his time. He would have been equal to Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera and all those people. He was a rock freaking star as a pianist and a composer. And much like Ronald Reagan, he too took his celebrity and then went into politics. He became the Prime Minister of Poland in the year 1919, which is the year that Liberace was born. The interesting connection between Paderewski and Liberace is that Liberace's grandmother used to translate Paderewski's piano lessons to his students because all his students only spoke Polish. Only spoke. They were in Italy, and his grandmother could translate the Polish from Paderewski, and so she was a connection to this man before he became a politician. And Liberace got to meet Paderewski when he was just yay high, and this guy was a superstar and was Liberace's idol. And he wrote this set of pieces. It's a 6-piece set it's for the Humoresque Concert. It's 6 pieces. This is the first piece in it. He's written some serious opera things. He's written some serious orchestral works. But this little minuet in G that Paderewski wrote became so world famous and preceded all of his other works. And when little 5-year-old Liberace met Paderewski for the first time at his grandmother's farm up in Kenosha, like in Wisconsin, he came to visit. This is what the audacious little boy played for him. And I'd like to play it for you now. It's Paderewski's Minuet in G. Yeah, you do really well, baby. Come on.
So, some of you might be wondering, how does one become a countertenor? How do you find that? How does that happen? I did not find my countertenor voice until college. Before then, I was Broadway bound as a tenor, and I went to opera school in order to be a tenor, and I was a tenor, and suddenly, one day in my senior year, a friend of mine, a male friend of mine, came down the hall singing a soprano aria, and instinctively, I just joined him. I didn't know how. I just was up there, well, what's this? It was fun. It was a party trick, because in the 80s, when I went to college, there was no path to a career in America as a countertenor. It was a European thing. It was liturgical, it was somewhat operatic, but the British tradition was, with all due respect, a little anemic. They sounded like small boys. They wanted to sound like boy sopranos, you know, and it just was not what I wanted to do. And then in 1991, I saw Brian Asawa, who had won the Metropolitan Opera National Auditions as a countertenor. And I was in that audience in the Met, and he sang on the Winners' Concert. And he sang Welcome Wanderer and Che Farà. And I looked up and I thought, that's me. That's what I can do. Because his sound was so different. It was full, voluptuous, like a mezzo-soprano. And it heralded in this era of countertenors in America who did that. And so I immediately immersed myself in the study of countertenor vocalism, Baroque operas, the singers who sang them, the whole thing. It was a 2-year study, from 91 to 93. And then I entered the competition circuit as a countertenor. And I did pretty well. I won the Carnegie Hall Oratorio competition. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, there's more. The Liederkranz Art Song Competition, the Da Capo competition, the Metropolitan Opera Eastern Regional, and most importantly, the Luciano Pavarotti International Voice Competition. That competition took 2 years. I started in 93, and my last audition was November of 95, going through local, regional, district, national, international. Now, when you make the international finals, everyone from around the world comes. Well, we came to Philadelphia, to the Philadelphia Opera House. Everybody sat in the balcony and had to watch everyone else's audition all week. And Maestro Pavarotti was in the orchestra with a God mic. That's what we call it. And let's just say he was not having a good week. He stopped people in the middle of singing. No. Get off the stage. And to one woman in Italian, he said, "Your father would be ashamed of you." That was only Monday. I was to sing on Tuesday. I sang an aria from Handel's Rinaldo. Rinaldo, one of those great warriors I told you about, wins the war but loses his wife. And so his aria is a plaintive sigh. Beloved wife, where are you? Return to me. Hear my sighs. Return. What did I do wrong? I kind of thought it was going pretty well. And then, in the God mic, he said this.
Very, very good. You prepare very well this area for the concert, okay? You will prepare very good this area like you are doing now. We don't need to go to the end. Very good, thank you, excellent, but good lesson. So we stop here.
So you all got that. I don't have to translate the Pavarotti. I looked at the competition director who was stage right. She was motioning me. Thank you, Maestro. And I walked on. As I passed her, she said, "Good for you. That has never happened before." The story does not end there. That was Tuesday. So Wednesday, I'm up in the balcony in my t-shirt and jeans. I'm feeling myself because I'm a winner. I know I'm a winner. It's already said I'm going to be on the concert. Okay. Right. Thursday, I'm up on the balcony with my t-shirt and jeans, and you would have thought I was John Lennon. Everybody was like, wow, okay. Friday, the competition director comes into the balcony with a placard with my name on it. That's what the whole balcony did. And she says, Maestro Pavarotti would like to hear you again. I'm in my t-shirt and jeans. I didn't bring my music up. My host home is 45 minutes away. I can be back in 90 minutes. 90 minutes, I'll be back. She said, hurry up. 90 minutes on the dot. I was stage right, in a suit with my music ready to go. And she peeks her head out the wing. She goes, Maestro, Mr. Sabella is here. He says, is ready to sing? She said, yes, sir. He's ready to sing. He says, I don't have to yet. That is what the entire balcony did. He said, I kissed him. So I want to be sure he would play. The biggest lesson of my life. No matter how much notoriety you get, accolades, celebrity, whatever, stay in the game. Keep playing. Okay? So on Saturday, on the Windows concert, I finally got to finish trying.
Yes, you know, and I get to follow that. Let's just agree to just love on each other and our experiences, right? You know, but yeah, I again loved classical music. Didn't want a career in it. It was very hard. I mean, when I was in school, the teachers and the people would tell me, you know, you could do this if you wanted to work that hard. And I'm not sure that I really did. It's so funny because what I think I dreaded the most in my early classical career was the 5 to 8 hours a day of practice that it takes. You know, I mean, singers can't sing that much out of voice, but pianists, we're really pretty much expected to play 8 hours a day of drilling and scales and all this stuff. And I was just like, I don't know if that's for me. And very interestingly, there was a teacher who I didn't study with. I took a couple of master classes with, but he had told a friend of mine who was one of his students. He said to her, he said, Kimberly, that was her name, Kimberly. He said, enjoy this. When real life hits, you're never gonna have 8 hours a day to just practice music. So enjoy this now. And it's so funny, we actually kind of don't really get that when we're 20. We want to go out clubbing, we want to party, we don't want to be like in the practice room all day long. And now it's like, yeah, if I had 8 hours a day to just sit around and play this beautiful classical music and learn this stuff, it really would be something else. But I get to still do it. I get to still play some of it, and it's great. And I'm going to play for you now one of my favorites that I never studied. Never learned this in college. Most people have this, most pianists have this piece in their repertoire, and I do not. So I decided to challenge myself and play it. And it's a beautiful impressionistic piece by Claude Debussy. And most of you probably know it. It's called Clair de Lune, which is French for moonlight, English for Clair de Saloon. But what's interesting about it, so you know, it's this piece that we all think, we think of the moon, it's beautiful, but it was based on a poem, a French poem that was about life being a clumsy dance. And what are you going to get out of your life? What abundance, what joy can you get out of your clumsy dance of a life? Aligned with the moon, aligned with the earth and all this stuff. And it's like, I think it's really cool because, you know, you get lyrics with the opera and the classical singing, but with instrumental music, there are no lyrics, but so many of them are based on poems. And I'm not going to read you the whole poem, but I will tell you what it is later if you're interested in reading it. It's a beautiful poem, and it really is about life being a clumsy dance. And I thought, well, what a perfect thing for me to learn in 3 days. I hope you enjoy it. There we go. Thank you guys. I'm so glad you're enjoying this night because it's in our blood. This stuff is in our blood. It's like we don't get to do it often. So thank you for being here with us. And your turn.
Yeah. These things I'm singing for you now, some of them I have not sung since 1998. Honestly. We've taken out of mothballs and we put them up somewhere. So, the evening of the Winners Concert in Philadelphia, by the time I left Philadelphia, I had an agent and enough contracts to fill 2 years. All over the world. Suddenly I was an international countertenor. And the men that I had so admired, like Brian Osawa, and also David Daniels, who went on to become the Pavarotti of countertenors, became friends. colleagues. And it was a very different and really blessed life. That was November of 95, right? And by March of 96, they called me to do the concert, 4-performance concert of Chicago, the musical at City Center Encores, with Phoebe Newworth, Ann Rankin, Joel Gray, James Naughton, Marsha Lewis, and me. And I said, okay, let's do that. Okay. And it was a wonderful weekend, and it was over and done, and I thought, now I'm back to the world of opera. And a month later they called and said, well, we're going to Broadway, and we would like you to come with us. And I said, great! And they said, we rehearse in September, preview in October, open November 14th. I said, great! I just have a few opera contracts that I'll need to get an out for. And she went, what? No, you can't do that. Well, I'm under contract. I am signed already, I'm under contract. There are like 6 things over the next 2 years, and they were big things. You know, oratorios at Carnegie Hall as the alto soloist, right? Monteverdi opera, a Handel opera, Julius Caesar, okay? So this contract, this was the big stumbling block with the Chicago, is that I had to be out for 6 weeks in January and February. But it was the first time, they said, I can't prove this, but they said it was the first time in American history that all 3 roles in Julius Caesar that were written for castrato singers were being done by countertenors. Robert Crowe was Sesto, Gianni Maldonado was Tolomeo, and I was Caesar. And it had a recording contract attached. And you can hear this on Spotify. Recording of Julius Caesar. Look for the name Peter Mark because he's the conductor, and they always put his name first. Anyway, I didn't know that until very recently. A student was working on this next aria that I'm going to do, and I said, have you heard it? He said, yes, it's on Spotify. I said, well, that's risky, let me hear it. I went, it's me! Okay, but the general manager like, no, you can't do that, you can't be out. And I said, okay, well, I have no other choice then, I have to pass. And I hung up the phone, and my dreams of being on Broadway were dead. That was June. July. August. The beginning of September, when they are a week away from starting rehearsals. The phone rings, I pick it up, it's director Walter Bobby. He says, David, what the f is wrong with you? Why aren't you doing the show? What are you holding up for? I said, Walter, I have contracts. Now, thank the good Lord. Walter's husband was an opera singer and sang at the Met. So he knew that these contracts were years in advance. Because to get all those people in the same room, you had to plan that far ahead. He goes, wait. Give me all the dates. I did. Wait right there. The days before. Cell phones. 5 minutes later, Fran Weisler of the Weislers, who produced Chicago, called me. Said, darling, Walter called me, and I know what the problem is. And I have all the dates, and we're going to let you out. We want you to do this show. And that's how I got to Broadway. So, we rehearsed in September, we previewed in October, we opened in November, and in January, I went to go do Julius Caesar. And it was thrilling. It was thrilling. This aria is from Julius Caesar. It is the first time Caesar sees Cleopatra. And he likens her to the fairest flower. None so fair, no flower in the world is as fair as your face, your visage. And all of the flowers of April cannot compare to me.
gentile il tuo bel volto. Non è sì bello e va, il donne prato, quante va voi gentile, quante va voi gentile, il tuo bel volto, quante va voi gentile, quante va voi gentile, il tuo bel volto, il tuo bel volto. D'un fiore il pregio a quello solo vien dato, ma tutto un vago aprire, ma tutto un vago aprire, intero conto, intero conto. Non è sì vago e vero, il fiore prato, quante vago e gentile, il tuo bel volto. Non è sì vago e bello, il fiore prato, quante vago e gentile, il tuo bel volto. Non è sì bello e va, il donne prato, quante va voi gentile, quante va voi gentile, il tuo bel volto, quante va voi gentile, quante va voi gentile. Il tuo bel volto, il tuo bel
This is Candy, and she gifted us these beautiful flowers.
Miss Taylor's favorites.
Yes.
They weren't like she taught them.
So now, my friends, we go from the sublime to a little bit of the ridiculous, or at least challenging. This is the countertenor in 20th century opera. So if you don't know 20th century opera, it could be some it's atonal, it's not really followable, it's got weird instruments, it's a little weird. And this is the role of Oberon in Midsummer Night's Dream. Benjamin Britten's Midsummer Night's Dream. Oberon, again, one of those kings I told you about. Okay, king of the fairies. High casting, okay. Right? If you know the Shakespeare, you know that Oberon and his wife Titania are in a fight because she will not give him the little changeling boy that she has. He wants it. We never really figure out why. A little sus. It's a little me too. Yeah. Me too. Yeah. So he plots against her. And he tells his henchman, Puck, to go find an herb and to bring it back. And with this herb, he will squeeze the juice of it into her eyes, making her fall in love with whoever she sees first. And he plots to make sure that who she sees first is Bottom, only now he has the head of an ass. Bottom ass.
I'm dead.
Get it? I just got it. And as a side note, he says, by the way, there's this little girl in the forest, and she's in love with this Athenian boy, and he's awful. So puts him in his eyes too, and then they'll fall in love. Well, as you know, that does not go so well. That does not go so well. No, that's the conflict. Yeah, okay. So this is Oberon in the first act of Benjamin Britten's Midsummer Night's Dream, speaking to Puck.
Welcome, wanderer. Hast thou the flower I know a bank where the wild thyme blows, where ox lives and the nodding violet grows. Quite over canopy with luscious woodbine, with sweet musk roses, with eglantine. There sleeps Titania sometime of the night, lulled in these flowers with dances and delight. And there sleep for those relaxing, weed wide enough to wrap a fairy in. And with the juice of this, I'll streak her eyes and make her fall hateful fantasies of take thou some of it, and seek through this grove a sweet Athenian lady is in love with a disdainful youth. Anoint his eyes, do it when next thing he saw, lady, thou shalt know the man by the Athenian prince he hath on.
That's oh yeah, I've been practicing this one all week with a cat in the house. You do this all week. You see cats' ears and faces do things that you've never seen an animal do before. Such a trip. That's such an incredible piece. I love that. I love that. All right, well, I didn't win the Luciano Pavarotti International Competition. I didn't get a role on Broadway, but I got a role in an Academy Award-winning film as Liberace. It was tiny. We played you missed it, but we did. We won an Academy Award-winning fan favorite for
And I saw it, it was great.
Army of the Dead, zombie movie, Liberace in Vegas. And my body gets destroyed by the end of it. I'm just like laying on the floor at the end. But hey, that was really, really cool. And I did a TV show with Bruce Valanche, the Paul Lynde Christmas special that we did with Lady Bunny and Jackie Beat, Steph Radetsky, Jack Plotnick. It was really great. We did that on Amazon Prime. And I've had a blast doing this and actually doing the Liberace and taking classical music and having fun with it. Has served me well because I love classical music. I just didn't want that classical regimen with like the contracts where you're stuck and all this stuff. But I love to think that all of, when we think about you listen to Debussy, you listen to Mozart, you listen to these composers, and it's so demure, people are sipping tea and having scones, trumpets and all that stuff, and it's like, oh, Soph, how was your tea? Mighty fun, The guys that wrote this stuff were dirty fucking dogs. They were in the bars drinking. They were womanizers. They would have really benefited from antibiotics and all this stuff. They were human beings having a good damn time and creating some of the most beautiful music of all time. So I like to play with them. They're my friends. And I like to do this little bit where I take a theme, a tema, if you will. That's Spanish for tema. It's a theme. And I'm going to play this theme, and then I'm going to ask you for some of your input, like some of your favorite piano composers. And I will then take that said tema and play it in the way that I think that they might have composed this theme, had they done that. Okay, so the theme that I have picked tonight, because unfortunately it's looming, but here's the theme. That's the theme. Now, do any of you have any favorite piano composers?
Tchaikovsky.
Tchaikovsky, oh, I love Tchaikovsky, yes. Chopin, Rachmaninoff, yes. Joplin, oh my God, we haven't never done Joplin before. Mozart, yeah, Mozart. Beethoven, yes.
Prokofiev.
Oh my God, Prokofiev. Yes, Prokofiev is in that school with Khachaturian and all those guys over there. Yeah, oh my goodness, these are good. Prokofiev's great. Anybody else? Any others? Hey, well, do him twice. All right, I am going to play some of the ones that I can remember because my birthday is coming next week. It's not actually tonight, so anybody who came just for the cake, you can go through that door, that door. right,
Next Wednesday.
we're gonna start with Happy Birthday by Tchaikovsky. Okay, now, I heard a little Mozart over here, one of my favorites, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. You know, it's funny, his career was just a bust. I mean, that, right? You all have that on your piano?
Wrong.
Now, he said he was happily married. Mrs. Mozart, on the other hand, was not. She went all the way to the floor. It's crazy. Happy Birthday by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Oh, and of course, one of my favorites, Beethoven. I can't hear anything. Oh God, there it is, yeah. Ooh. Ooh. Ha. Rachmaninoff. great reference. I could put Prokofiev and Cacciatore in the same one. Here's one more. Here's another really beautiful one. One of my favorite composers of all times. I could play them all night, but we won't. We're going to just do one more. Johannes Brahms, one of the greatest piano composers of all times. There you get. I'll be doing many more of those in the piano and all season long. Come on, David. Come on, man.
Well, my friends, now we enter the world of the countertenor in 19th century symphonic song cycle. There's not much. Not much. In fact, I may be the only one. Maybe the only one. And how do I follow up such merriment? That was brilliant. Brilliant. So much fun. We're going to follow that up with songs of the death of children. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Mahler's Die Kinder toten wieder. Kinder, kid, toten, dead song. Dead kid song. Yeah. Great. Okay. There are 5 songs in this cycle. We're only going to do 2 of them. Okay? And these songs are very deep and very emotional. So I'll ask you to hold your applause. Okay? You can applaud at the end. The second one, you're going to applaud. But in between the 2, hold your applause. And this cycle was written by Gustav Mahler in 1904. And he started writing it, and then he put it away. And then after the birth of his daughter, he started writing it more. And his wife was very upset with him because she thought he was tempting fate. And at 4 years old, their daughter passed away of scarlet fever. Yeah. So she may not have been wrong. It was originally set for the mezzo-soprano, and many mezzos have done it. Marilyn Horne, Dame Janet Baker, Federico Onstada, almost every mezzo in the world has done Die Kinder toten wieder. It's beautiful, it's lush, it's gorgeous. The poetry is set in the masculine perspective, from the father's point of view. So baritones do this as well. And baritones sing this cycle as well. In 1998, I became the first, and I think to date the only, countertenor to perform this song cycle at Carnegie Hall. Wow. Yeah. And it was fantastic. I'm going to read to you a little bit of the poetry, because I think it's important that you know where we are. Okay? The first song is Nun seh ich wohl, warum so dunkle Flammen. Anybody speak German? Anybody know?
Nice.
This says, from the Father's point of view. Now I see clearly why you so often flashed those dark flames at me from your eyes. as if to compress all of your power into a single glance. I didn't know, I couldn't guess. I was surrounded by mist and shadows. I had no idea that your brightness was already making its way for home towards the place where all light comes from. With your shining light, you tried to tell me, look at me. Look in my eyes. We would dearly love to stay with you, but it is not in our destiny. But look at me well, for soon what you see as eyes, in later days, you will see as stars. Hold your applause, John. I'm not even singing it.
That's beautiful.
It is. It was Frederick Ruckert who wrote the poetry. Frederick Ruckert. The second song is Wenn dein Mütterlein, when your dear mother comes through the door, and I turn my head to look at her. My eyes light first not on her face, but on that place nearer to the threshold where your little dear face would be if you, bright-eyed, were to walk in with her. Just as you used to, my dear daughter. When your dear mother comes through the door with a flickering candle, I always think you are coming too, stealing behind her as you used to. You, oh you, the joyful light of your father's heart, too soon, too quickly, was extinguished. Your beautiful light. That means something different since I have kids.
Yeah, right?
Turn my mic off.
That's the problem when you got one of them Broadway lavaliers on. You hear everything you do in the bathroom or afterward. Wow, that's incredible. That's incredible. I'm so excited. I didn't know this song cycle till just a couple of weeks ago when it was like, I want to do 2 of these songs. And, you know, they're not, it's you know, on the piano part, it's like, it's not fireworks, it's not like crazy show-off stuff, but it's one of the most difficult things that I've learned and played because there's such a different feel to it. There's a heaviness, there's molasses, as we like to say, there's meat in it, and the music is so spectacular,
It's
so
so
beautiful.
fun. It's just fun.
Well,
Just fun.
it was fun for us. I had a good time doing it. So we only have a couple more. Thank you guys for being the best audience. You know, I mean, sometimes it's really, really, really hard to like get people to actually sit and listen to really, really, really good class. Hi, live stream people.
And in August. You're here in August.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad that you've enjoyed it. I hope we played some things that you've not heard before and learned a few things about it. And I'm not going to talk much. I'm going to play my last piece here before we close it out. And It is my favorite composer, Frédéric Chopin. He is my all-time favorite. And there isn't a Chopin piece that I don't love. I just love Chopin so much. But I do have a particular favorite that I did learn in college because I loved it so much. And it was maybe a little bit beyond my ability, and it might still be, but I love it. It is one of his most difficult compositions ever composed. It is from his series of ballades. This is the fourth ballade by Frédéric Chopin, which is in the I played all four through my years, and this one is arguably, well, it's one of the masterpieces of the 19th century, hands down in the books. Very few people actually perform it live because it is really pretty difficult and pretty psychotic to do. But I'm going to try because I'm pretty difficult and psychotic. And I just love it. I think it's a beautiful piece of music. No, he really is. He really. But this was Chopin wrote this. He tried to sell it, and it didn't sell right away. But he dedicated this one to Baroness Rothschild of Paris. She's the woman. She was married to Nathaniel Rothschild of Paris. She introduced Chopin to the aristocracy and the nobility of Paris, which is what he wanted. He was Polish-born, Polish with French dad and Polish mom, but lived in Poland but wanted to be French, and pretty much spent most of his life in France. And Chopin has been made fun of as the right-hand composer with all the frilly stuff. And I got to tell you, this piece gives the left hand a real workout. It's like he was like challenge on.
You can answer something for me.
I can try.
I have a piano from 1875.
Okay.
With 85 keys.
Okay.
And they said it was because Chopin didn't need the other three yet.
Are they on the top or the bottom? Well, is the bottom one an A?
I think so.
He wouldn't have needed it because tonally he would never have gone to the third at the end of a piece. There, I answered it.
Okay, so they are.
Cheers to me and cheers to you guys. So anyway, this piece is absolutely beautiful. It was dedicated. It's also rumored that it's written based on a poem called The Three Bouderies. And it's a story about an aristocratic man who sent his three sons out to find treasure. They were on a mission to grow up and find treasure. And they came back with three Polish brides. I don't know how that happens, but this piece is just so sophisticated. He uses the sonata form and the nocturne form, combines it, has a beautifully haunting, longing theme that just plays throughout and then plays on variation. And when it comes back, it's just transformed and really, 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 really beautiful. People use this piece in form and analysis class in school. I like to think of it this way. It's love, it's unrequited love, it's longing, it's searching. This piece just searches. The conflict in this piece really, truly never ends. But it has to end at some point, so we have to put a final note on it. But it never ends. It seems to resolve, it goes to the major, goes back to the minor, goes back to the major, and then it ends in what Chopin ballades all end in a coda, the tail of the piece. And this one ends in this fiery sort of thing that I can only describe as movie music. Like, you think everything's okay. You know, he ends on these series of like major chords and everything just seems calm and okay. And then all of a sudden, the buildings start crumbling and there's fireballs coming at you down the street and you are running and there's nowhere to go and splat. It's so powerfully dramatic. And without words, that's all I can tell you about it. And I hope you enjoy this beautiful piece by Chopin. I hope I can do it justice. It is one of my favorites. So we'll do this. Chopin's fourth ballade. We were going to do the false sex and all this stuff, but we're going to do one more for you. What do you say? Thank you for indulging us at home and here in Puerto Vallarta. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoyed. Really, we did.
I love it. So this is one of my favorite pieces. It's a unique mashup that was originally arranged by a wonderful man named Christopher Marlowe. And it is Irving Berlin and Ravel.
Wow.
It's perfect. It's us. It's us. You ask, do I love you? I'll tell you no lie. How deep is the ocean? How high is the sky? How many times a day do I love you? How many roses are sprinkled with dew? How far would I travel to be where you are? How far is the journey from here to a star? And if I ever lost you, how much would I cry? How deep is the ocean? How high is the sky? How far would I travel to how far is the journey from here to a star? How much would I cry? How deep is the ocean? How high is the
very good MC. You're very comfortable.